Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Dr. Akash Show. I'm Dr. Akash Bajaj, and here we focus on rituals and routines to keep you resilient and robust. Today's topic is something we've all dealt with, and a lot of us probably continue to deal with, and that is the cost of comparison. Now, why is a board-certified doctor talking about the cost of comparison? Well, as you'll find out in this episode, the cost of comparison and comparing ourselves in certain ways can actually affect your longevity, your overall health, and there's a potentially strong aging component to it as well. So let's get into it. Unlocking the secrets of longevity, anti-aging, and peak performance. Dive deep into the world of biohacking, explore groundbreaking medical advances, and uncover the keys to living your best life at any age. This is One-on-One with Dr. Bajaj, where science meets life and vitality knows no limits. So let's get into it. So comparison is a natural tendency for all of us, but in the space of anti-aging and longevity, it can have significant health implications. When we compare ourselves to others, especially with those who we believe are maybe aging more gracefully, this can have significant impacts when we fail to consider the facts of genetic, lifestyle, and other life circumstances. This can sometimes lead to feelings of inadequacy and stress, and both of these have been shown to negatively affect our health. Speaking of, research has actually demonstrated that chronic stress and anxiety can have a direct effect on accelerating our aging on a cellular and metabolic level. I talked a little bit about this in the episode discussing cortisol, but in that episode, you'll see elevated cortisol, which is associated with anxiety and chronic levels of stress, has significant health implications. None of them are any good. As a matter of fact, there was a study published in the Journal of Psychoendocrinology demonstrating that elevated chronic stress levels can shorten telomere length. Now, why is this important? Shortened telomere length directly correlates with decreased lifespan. In addition, comparison, which often leads to feelings of inadequacy, can lead to things like anxiety, depression, which certainly have a link with a shorter lifespan and higher levels of stress, as well as potential disease manifestation. One of the things to certainly discuss in this arena is the double-sided coin of social media. Now, social media has tremendous benefits. I personally believe it's overall better than it is negative. However, some of the negative effects of social media we have begun to see all around us. And unfortunately, in today's social media age, the comparison trap is not only significantly amplified, but it's really global. This may or may not come as a surprise, but there is a journal, the Journal of Clinical and Social Psychology, demonstrating that increased use of social media certainly leads to potentially increased anxiety and depression. And for those focused too specifically on just the highlight reel of those people you may be comparing yourself to, this may lead to kind of an obsessive and maybe unobtainable pursuit trying to meet certain unrealistic standards. So what do we do? What do we do if we want to become the most optimized version of ourselves? Of course, some comparison is going to happen. Arguably, some of that comparison can actually help us accelerate our progress. It's great to have a community where you're keeping each other supported and optimized, and certainly maybe healthy comparison. But what can we actually do in the world of anti-aging and longevity when it comes to this topic? Well, don't forget, every single person is unique. Your starting point is different than anybody else you know, and your ending point is also going to be different. However, that being said, there are certain foundational and fundamental tools that can frankly be applied to everybody, and with the right discipline, work ethic, and focus can maximize the benefits of those activities for you. Now, my opinion on this is really taking a more personalized, bespoke, almost custom approach to developing your program for yourself is really going to help you stay motivated, stay positive and optimistic with realistic goals and realistic outcomes, and really push you and accelerate you quicker to the goal of becoming your best self. How do we do this? Truthfully, the best way to really do this is to meet with somebody in this space who really focuses specifically on developing customized programs for the individual. As a matter of fact, back in 2010, we understood this. There was a publication in the Journal of the American Medical Association demonstrating that personalized plans and personalized interventions actually lead to superior outcomes and better results. Now, as always, guys, we talk about rituals and routines and some practical advice. So now that we have an understanding of the true data backed effects of the comparison trap, let's talk a little bit about what you can do starting today. Most importantly, just being mindful and self acceptant of where you're starting today will allow you to really have a realistic grounding on your starting point and then will allow you to springboard forward. Practices like daily meditation, daily self observation, things like journaling, things of that nature can actually help you really get a realistic understanding of where you're at today and also allow you to build a plan, almost retro engineer a plan or reverse engineer a plan to help you build to where you need to be. Now, these practices have actually been demonstrated and shown to reduce stress and improve overall longevity. Number two, let's try to focus on being healthy rather than an appearance outcome. An appearance outcome may not necessarily be healthy. If we begin to focus on healthy activities and working from the inside out, things like a proper daily exercise routine, really good diet that you're monitoring and measuring on a regular basis, getting your sleep under control, managing your stress, all of these types of internal treatments and internal changes that you have fully within your control will allow us to really begin to work from the inside out, and the appearance will secondarily manifest on its own. And the other fantastic benefit of this is there is ample evidence demonstrating that these types of foundational and fundamental activities not only will eventually help you obtain that anti-aging and longevity appearance, doing it the right way, but it actually helps with overall longevity, a decrease in chronic disease, and maximizing your health. Now, sure, there's a role for aesthetics. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But the aesthetic approach really might want to be considered as more of an additional top off, kind of gravy on top of the work you've already done, rather than your primary mode of obtaining a certain visual appearance, because you may not necessarily get all the health benefits that you would if you internally pursue the foundational techniques. Again, personalized health plans. A personalized health plan can include things like looking at your diet, your exercise routine, tracking your macronutrients with a coach or somebody who can help guide you through that, and not only just optimizing your program, but really tailoring it and modifying it almost on a regular dynamic basis to keep you on course. It's like if you're in a ship moving towards a certain target, you can't just set the course and leave it. You got to make small little changes throughout the journey in order for you to get to your destination. This is absolutely no different and certainly much more effective and accelerated when you do something like this with a proper coach or properly trained medical professional. In addition, this can lead to strong preventative measures, so you end up being proactive with your health and your overall goals rather than reactive, not only saving considerable amounts of time, getting you to your goal much quicker than you normally would have, but also minimizing or mitigating any potential chronic disease side effects that may or may not be treatable once they begin to manifest. Listen, at the end of the day, the reality is comparison is part of the human journey. It's very easy to say you should never compare yourself to anybody. That's also, in my opinion, very unrealistic. I think we all compare ourselves to other people to some degree, but we can utilize this comparison by including it in a supportive, non judgmental community and maybe minimizing things that expose us. Things like social media, for example, having a social media feed that is more tailored towards things that are realistic for your goals rather than some unobtainable visual result that frankly might not even be what it appears to be once you consider filters and all that. Not to mention the fact that when you begin to develop these fundamental habits and focus more on comparing yourself today from the version you were yesterday, you only promote your own well-being and health from the inside out, which naturally will decrease your risk of chronic disease and also maximize your anti-aging and longevity potential. So listen, overall, we've all heard this saying, comparison is the thief of joy. Certainly true. Very important to be mindful of how we compare ourselves, what we're comparing ourselves to, and perhaps how often we're doing it. Set realistic expectations. How do we do that? Understand your starting point today, Get a coach or a mentor or some sort of guide who can help you tweak your program as you move forward towards that goal, and measure everything. Because when you measure things, you may be pleasantly surprised at how you're actually making better progress than you may potentially think you are. So thank you for tuning into this short and concise episode of the Dr. Akash Show, guys. And as always, the best time to start something was yesterday. The second best time is today. Don't wait till tomorrow. Take one small step today to get yourself maximally optimized. If you find any value in these episodes and any value in the show, please like and subscribe and share these episodes, specifically the ones you feel may help some of your friends and family.